They say some treasures are better left unfound. Tonight, we're diving into the shadows to uncover the stories of objects so beautiful, so valuable, they're worth a fortune. But they come with a price far greater than money. These are the tales of the world's most haunted treasures. Our first story begins with a diamond so dazzling it has blinded kings and queens with its beauty and its curse. I'm talking about the Hope Diamond. This massive 45-carat blue diamond has a history steeped in theft, tragedy, and death. Legend says it was stolen from the eye of a Hindu idol, an act that cursed it forever. Its owners have met with bizarre and often grisly fates. Marie Antoinette and King Louis XVI, who famously owned it, lost their heads during the French Revolution. Another owner, a wealthy heiress named Evelyn Walsh McLean, bought it despite the warnings. Soon after, her son died in a car crash. Her daughter passed away from an overdose, and her husband left her for another woman before eventually dying in a mental institution. Evelyn herself spent her final years in isolation, clinging to the diamond that had cost her everything. Coincidence? Maybe. But the pattern of misfortune that follows this stunning gem is too strong to ignore. Today, it rests safely behind glass at the Smithsonian. But some say the curse still lingers, waiting for its next victim. Next, we journey from a cursed diamond to a cursed chair. Not just any chair, but the chair of death owned by Thomas Busby in 1702. A man named Thomas Busby was sentenced to hang for murdering his father-in-law, Daniel Orty. The two had argued over Busby's wife, Elizabeth, but the final straw was when Orty sat in Busby's favourite chair on his way to the gallows. Busby's final request was to have one last drink at his local pub. As he finished his ale, he stood up, pointed to his beloved oak chair, and proclaimed, "May sudden death come to anyone who dare sit in my chair." For centuries, the chair remained in the pub, and a chilling legend grew. Locals whispered stories of people who dared to sit in it, only to meet untimely ends. A group of airmen during World War II sat in it for a dare. None of them returned from the war. A delivery man sat in it and died in a car crash just hours later. The list goes on and on. The pub's owner, terrified by the mounting body count, finally moved the chair to the cellar. But even there, a stock boy sat on it and was killed when a pile of boxes fell on him. Finally, in 1972, the pub owner donated the chair to the Thirsk Museum, where it hangs high on a wall, 5 feet off the ground, ensuring no one can ever sit in it again. Now, let's talk about a painting that seems to carry a spirit within its very brushstrokes. It's called The Anguished Man. The story behind this painting is as disturbing as the image itself. The artist, whose name remains unknown, allegedly mixed his own blood into the oil paints he used to create this haunting portrait. Shortly after completing it, he took his own life. The painting was then passed down to a woman named Sean Robinson's grandmother. She kept it locked away in her attic, telling Sean it was evil. She claimed to hear crying and whispers coming from the attic and even saw a shadowy figure of a man in her house. When his grandmother passed away, Sean inherited the painting. Against her warnings, he brought it into his home. Almost immediately, strange things began to happen. His family started hearing the same crying sounds. Doors would open and close on their own, and a strange mist would sometimes appear at the bottom of their stairs. Sean even felt someone stroking his hair in the middle of the night. To document the paranormal activity, he set up a camera. The footage he captured is chilling. It shows objects falling, doors slamming shut, and the painting itself falling off the wall for no reason. Sean Robinson still owns the Anguished Man, keeping it locked away. A terrifying testament to the idea that an artist can pour not just their soul, but their suffering into their work. From a haunted painting to a haunted doll, perhaps the most famous one of all, Robert the Doll. In the early 1900s, a young boy named Robert Eugene Otto, or Gene for short, was given a handmade doll by a servant who allegedly practiced voodoo and was unhappy with the family. Gene named the doll Robert and became inseparable from him. He would talk to the doll for hours, but soon his parents began to hear two voices coming from Gene's room, and another, deeper, more sinister voice. They would often find Gene's room in disarray, with furniture overturned. When they asked what happened, Gene would always reply with the same chilling words: "Robert did it." Neighbors reported seeing the doll moving from window to window when the family wasn't home. As Gene grew up, Robert was moved to the attic, where he remained for years. After Gene's death, a new family moved into the house. Their 10-year-old daughter found Robert in the attic and claimed him for her own, but she soon grew terrified of the doll, saying it came alive at night and tried to hurt her. Today, Robert the Doll resides at the Fort East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida. Visitors claim he moves, changes his expression, and giggles. It is said you must ask his permission before taking a photo. If you don't, you will be cursed with misfortune, car accidents, broken bones, job losses. The museum walls are covered with letters from people begging Robert for forgiveness after failing to show him proper respect. Our final story takes us to the world of ancient Egypt and the legendary curse of the pharaohs, centered around the tomb of Tutankhamun. When archaeologist Howard Carter discovered the undisturbed tomb in 1922, it was the find of a lifetime. The world was captivated. But soon a darker narrative began to emerge. The newspapers, hungry for a sensational story, latched onto the idea of a pharaoh-esque curse that would bring death to anyone who disturbed the king's eternal rest. The first to fall was Lord Carnarvon, the expedition's financier. He died just a few months after the tomb was opened from an infected mosquito bite on his cheek. Eerily, at the exact moment of his death, all the lights in Cairo inexplicably went out. Back in England, his dog Susie howled and died at the same instant. This was just the beginning. Over the next decade, more than a dozen people connected to the tomb's opening met with strange and premature deaths. George J. Gould, another visitor, died of a fever shortly after his visit. An Egyptian prince was assassinated by his wife. Carter's own secretary died of a mysterious illness. Skeptics point to logical explanations like toxins and fungus inside the tomb, or simply coincidence. But the sheer number of deaths and the bizarre circumstances surrounding them have cemented the curse of King Tut's tomb in the annals of haunted history. It serves as a powerful reminder that some treasures were never meant to be disturbed, and that the guardians of the past might still be watching. From the Hope Diamond's trail of sorrow to Robert the Doll's malevolent gaze, these treasures carry more than just historical value. They carry stories, energies, and perhaps curses that defy our understanding. They remind us that the most beautiful things can sometimes hide the darkest secrets. So the next time you see a priceless antique or a dazzling gem, you might want to think twice about what unseen price comes with it. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the shadows. If you have a story about a haunted object, share it in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales from the other side. Stay curious and stay safe.